All right, man. Shalom to the elect of
Shalom.
Israel. First and foremost, we'd like to start this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Ba'ashem, Yahawashi,
Yahawashi,
Ba'ashem, Ruach
Bahasham.
Kodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Salutations unto the 144,000 doing the work of the Lord in all truth, honor, and sincerity, and shalom to the 1/3, men, women, and children, even this word being taught unto them. It's your brother, I am Nawa'ala. I'm joined by the
The
beloved
brother
brother
Razak.
Rathar.
Come.
And we're here to talk about the legacy of Yahawashi and his elect men, because
Come.
the scriptures talk about the first fruits. If we
Mm-hmm.
be of the elect, that means that we would be of the first fruits, meaning we'd be a part of that conglomeration of the first spirits created. And when you go
Come. Come.
um, all the way back to the beginning, the headings,
Mm-hmm.
the book of Genesis, it tells you, it talks about the Alahayim when you read it with proper understanding, all right,
Yeah.
which the Alahayim would consist of Yahawashi spearheading.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you've got the Most High Yahweh, who gave Yahweh
Yeah.
Shai the blueprint, and then you've got
Mm.
Yahweh Shai, who worked alongside, who led the Alahayim, which would be the 144,000, to
Come.
bring
Come.
all we know as creation. So, if
Mm-hmm.
we be of the elect, we would be a part of those first fruits. All right, which
Come.
means that we actually hold a very high position in, you know, terms of
In
hierarchy.
all
Of course, we're
creation.
not
Come.
above of Khan. Of course, we're not above the Most High Yahweh. There's only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. But we would still hold a very high position in terms of creation, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Come.
is there anything you want to add before I go into the word legacy?
Yeah, you pretty much proven the point, man. First fruits, the Elohim, referring to the powers, in Genesis 1, when you get into the root word of really God, which is referring to Elohim, which is in the, how do you call it? It's not, I think it's modern Hebrew, not the ancient Hebrew. They say Elohim, but
Right.
Elohim is linked to Elohim in the ancient Hebrew, which means powers, man. So these same powers, of which, of course, you can liken it onto the governing body, referred to in Revelation 14 and verse 3, that sung the new song, the 144,000. Those are the same men of whom were referred to as the powers, of which will be able to inherit that legacy from Yahushua. The same way Yahushua has a legacy of which you will also be rewarded from. The Most High Yahweh is the same way Yahushua will also reward us for our diligence and our work towards Him, our servitude
Mm.
towards Him. So we might as well get the definition to kick things
Khan.
off.
So, the Google definition for the word legacy. So the first entry is an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. The second one,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe is more fitting, is the long-lasting impact of particular events, um, actions. So, like, I just got an email. You can't see that, right?
So, yeah. Hold on. I was zoomed into the definition. I
I
couldn't.
don't worry about it. It's all good. I believe it's all right. So it says the long-lasting impacts of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. All right. So
Mm,
this, these events that we read about in the scriptures, all right, these are long-lasting, impactful events, man. Okay.
God.
Even just Yahweh Shai dying on the cross, for the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect, that still holds weight today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all the prophets suffering for the name of
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh Shemi Shai, being killed for the name of Yahweh Shemi Shai.
God.
You go into the Maccabees, man. Yeah, those they were being tormented in all kind of heinous ways because they
Yeah.
decided to stand stiffly for the name of Yahawashi Yahawashi. These are long-lasting, impactful events that took place in the past that still has an effect on us
Yeah.
today.
It
Okay,
echoes for generations, man. It echoes for
generation.
generations. So yeah, the thing is, with these events of which we study about, even in certain things with Jake's nature as well. It's within Jake's nature to really obey Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because even just a minor example of that is during the scam demic, got to use the cold words here, where in the supermarkets, all other foods, chicken and all the lawful meats were taken away. But there's actually, I don't know what state it was in America, but they actually left all the flipping pork there, man.
Of
So
course.
Jake, even though they're in an ignorant state, it's still in their spirit to do the right thing. So it's a lot. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but the point is that it's within. Oh, that's why I mentioned it, because the definition, it says the long-lasting impact of particular events. The first time when Moses came in, to bring in the laws and to teach Israelites what we're supposed to do, to please Yahweh, that effect is still long-lasting up to now. That's why I mentioned the example of Jake. Despite being ignorant, they'll still know what to do innately, to please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But of course, that's we also got to consider the fact that they're in that disobedient state as well. Some willingly, some unintentionally as well. But at the end of the day, they just got to be reset, and then of course, through the loins of the Lord, they're going to be clean. So I think I actually had a precept here as well on point.
Yeah, bring out your
But do you
precept.
want to get out yours? All right, come on, come on.
I
This
mean,
is
it'll
Romans 15.
be yeah,
Hmm?
Romans 15.
Yeah, and verse 4. As I was talking
Beautiful.
about, things are written before are written for our learning. So this is let me just read. So Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things are written aforetime, within these scriptures, the Bible, were written for our learning, that we
Mm,
through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And of course, part of that hope is to really inherit the reward that Yahushua has promised us in order to really to inherit it by going through the things of which we must go through, as it said there, patience, which is reference to suffering. And of course, the multiple examples within the scriptures of certain scenarios that prophets had to go through is written
mm,
for us to learn so that we apply in this modern day captivity that we're in right now. Up to the very end, that final prophecy, well, that final major prophecy of the MOTB, which when we then go through that, we then expect Yaratazar to have the legacy of, possessing the rewards that Yahushua has promised us, man. As it says in Matthew 19, I think near the end, where Peter asks Yahushua what would we receive if we basically commit to what Yahushua has said. And then
mm.
Yahushua told them, whoever's lost these things, household, wives, you're going to get 100-fold, just to roughly paraphrase that precept. So that's part of the legacy that we're going to get, that long-lasting effect from previous actions, which those previous actions can be summarized really as suffering, having to endure through the affliction that we have to go through in order to get to that reward of which we duly seek. So
Yeah,
that's the point right there. Yeah.
on because how we've got to look at the suffering is as a rite of passage.
Come
Nothing
on.
worth having in life is gonna come easy.
Yeah.
Well, we're being called to be gods, judges, rulers over the next world.
And
So
that's the legacy. Yeah.
I'm again sorry.
No, I was just saying that's the legacy. I keep trying to
Yeah,
link it back to the name of the lesson as well. But yeah,
can't.
come on,
So
come on.
we can't just expect to receive all of that and not go for anything for it, man. But
Nah.
you made a point where you were speaking about Jake having the zeal of knowledge
Mm, mm, mm,
according to the truth. So the scripture
mm.
for that would be Romans 10:1. Brethren,
God.
my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. All right. And I believe this was written by Apostle Paul, but it's that, hey, man, as they say, um, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
force it to drink it, man. I remember
God.
being, when I first came in, and it was like, hey, my family members have got to wake up, and my close
Mm.
friends got to wake up, and you quickly learn that this truth ain't for everyone, man. Second Esdras 8
Yeah.
tells us, for there be many created, but few shall be saved, right? And so now the point in verse
Yeah.
2,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, even 3 it goes in, man. Verse 2 says, for I bear them knowledge that they have a zeal of God, but not according
Yeah.
to knowledge. And this is the thing. This is why, that you have certain jakes out there. They might know within their spirit they shouldn't eat swine's flesh, so they won't eat swine's
Mm-hmm.
flesh. Maybe certain jake, not all of it, especially with that whole 90s R&B and all of that. You might have certain
Yeah.
jake
Yeah.
that know that it's wrong to sleep with another man's wife, so they won't do it,
God.
but they
God.
won't actually be in the truth. So our
Mm-hmm.
people have that zeal of the Most High, but it's not according to the 100% truth. You
Yeah.
know, another example is, yeah, Jake may know that they have to honor the Sabbath day holy, but then they're going to keep
Mm.
the Sabbath on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown continuously. Now
Yeah.
we just happen to have it where the new moon for this month, it does actually happen
Mm.
to fall on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, but what
Yeah.
day the Sabbath falls on is dependent on the cycle of the moon, not Friday to
God.
Saturday. Because you ain't gonna go to
Mm-hmm.
the scriptures and find Friday or Saturday, right? So one more
Yeah.
verse. It says, for they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. So our people have
Mm.
gone about establishing their own righteousness. You got
God. God.
people out there that are dead set on, we have to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. But Romans 3 clearly tells you, for all have sinned
Yeah.
and fall short of the glory, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 64:6 tells you how our righteousness is as filthy rags. So if we're trying to determine our salvation on how well we can keep the law, ain't none of us going to be
Mm.
saved, you know?
Yeah. 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 Even if you want to dig deep, because that's an
Dig
inside
deep,
joke.
brother.
The thing is, even Elder Manatazakba, I remember watching a video some time ago though, where it's like even just flipping the plastic bottles you drink water from, that's made out of some kind of material that's rooted within pork, man. Swine, that type of I forgot the name, but it's related to it. So really, we can't really be saved by the law, man. And we're not even in the perfect bodies that's required to keep all of the law 100%.
Right.
Hence why it says Yahawashi is the mediator. We got the law from Moses, but Yahawashi we got grace. In fact, let me get that Yarat as well. Then we'll continue on just to get that quick
Can't.
grace.
Because hey man, that's the scriptures, man. Ezekiel 4:13 tells us how we shall eat our
Mm.
bread defiled, man. So it's like, even
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you could eat some pork ingredient and not even know it's
Mm.
pork, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
So so so,
when you
so when
really go into Salak,
so like, just to quickly, so when something like that happens,
yeah.
should that then be held against you? Should you then,
Mm,
as they
mm,
like to
mm.
say, burn in hell because
Yeah.
you did something unknowingly? So where's
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
grace? You got it.
Come on. But yeah, as you said, where's grace, man? Let me get this preset, then I'm gonna talk a little bit. This is John 1:17. For the law was given by Moses. Again, as we know, as he brought those tablets out, it says, but grace and truth came by Yahawashi HaMashiach. And when you go into grace as well, grace means having favor, man. So when you have favor of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, of course, you're also going to receive mercy as well. It says, and
Mm,
truth came by Yahawashi HaMashiach. So we've been blessed with the holistic understanding of the timeline that we're living in, where okay, Esau's at his last end right now, and after that, Jacob's going to be the one to rule. And of course, that's going to be through Yahawashi. So we've been blessed with that holistic understanding to know that, okay, our hope is not in vain, our works are not in vain, you know, as it's referred to in Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 11 or verse 17. You know, just to refer to that. But the point is, we have that holistic vision of which Yahawashi has blessed us with, which means our actions will also be done in wisdom. Because again, going back to that definition where it says the long-lasting effects. Hence why we look into the old ways so that we can know what effects it will have in the future if we actually applied it to this modern context. So yeah, I'll read it one more time. John 1 and 17. For the law was given by Moses, and we're not saved by that. It says, but grace and truth came by Yahawashi HaMashiach. So of course, that's why we always have to pray for mercy and say, Yahawashi, you know, keeping us alive. And obviously, we're able to read every time that we wake up. That's another chance for us to also serve and please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And obviously, to make that certainty of getting that legacy in the kingdom of Yahushua. You know, as it says in I think it's Second Peter, or chapter says, give diligence to make that calling and election sure. You know,
That's
the
right.
calling first, and then when you get into this truth, you hear about it. But the election, that certainty, which really, the certainty of the election is going to be during the crowning ceremony. That's when you know, okay, you're an elect now. You know that as a fact. And that's why we say Yahara Tazar, that we're going to be those men. And that's, again, going to be part of the legacy. You know, that the actions of before, the suffering of before, is going to have that long-lasting effect, which really is going to have an eternal effect of within the kingdom, because we're going to live forever now. We're going to be as powers, you know, as the brother Anwala said, and also not just powers too, but we're also going to inherit the heathen as an inheritance. Speaking of, we might as well read Psalms 2 and verse 6 right now. Let me get
And I
yeah,
just got this quick precept I want to bring out beforehand, right?
go
This
on.
is
Yep.
just to add to the point. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, and I'll start at 23. It says, thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. So we can glory in the fact that we understand the Lord, man. You got guys out
Yep.
there, and I before I came into the truth, I was one of them, you know, who are dead set on how great they can keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And it's like, bro, you're fighting a losing battle, man. You know, the flesh that we're in is known as the is known as the chains of darkness, man. You have accounts like Romans chapter 7. Apostle Paul was like, the things I desire to do, I do not, and the things I don't desire to do, I do. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death? So what I found is that I was constantly perplexed in my mind, because it's like you're trying to do the right thing, but you're fighting the flesh. And then, you know, back then it was the whole fear of, well, you're gonna burn in hell. You know, there was no peace in the understanding. Now, with that being said, the scriptures say not to use grace as a cloak of maliciousness. So it's not now to get the attitude, well, we're under grace, so I can just do whatever the hell I want, and oh well, grace. No. All right, but we have to rehearse the righteous acts, keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, man. But we can boast in the fact that we understand the Lord, his expectations, his prophecies, who his chosen people are, who this word is for, who this word ain't for. Okay? We have that understanding, right? So just one more point before we go to Psalms 2. So even the fact that we're here telling you, Lord willing, we be of the elect, we're the next rulers of the world. You know, from the outside looking in, someone will look at us, might look at what we wear, how we're dressed, and whatnot, and think, these
Mhm.
niggas ain't gonna be ruling shit. But that's what you think.
Yeah.
You don't understand
Cool.
and love the Lord, but we do.
Hmm.
And one more
Yeah.
point, it
Yeah.
says that wisdom is given unto the lowly man, and we tick those boxes,
Mm.
you know. So
Come,
this
come,
is
come.
as you wanted, Psalms chapter 2, and I'll start at 6. It says,
Yep.
"Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will
Hmm.
declare the decree. The Lord have said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee.
Come.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel."
Come, man. That's it for now. You know, from verse 6 where it says, "Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion." That's reference to Yahawashi, because he's the one of whom, we're gonna get that grace from and favor from Yahweh, well, from Yahweh ultimately, because that's why we say Kal Halaim La Yahweh Bahasham, which means in the name Yahawashi, because
Mm.
it's through Yahawashi that's how we get to Yahweh. So he's gonna be the king, to rule over Israel. Hence why interchangeably we call it the kingdom of Yahawashi, and is also the kingdom of Israel as well. So it says, "I will declare the decree, and the Lord Yahweh has said unto me, Thou art my son, and this day have I begotten thee." Again, that's referring to Yahweh Shai. It says, and this is part of the legacy in where it says in verse 8 and 9. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." And then that inheritance as well is what's given from past actions as well. Because one of the definitions of legacy, let me see if I can get it, was there was the one you read is, yes, it's the long lasting effects from past actions. But there's also another one where it mentions about the inheritance of things from your predecessors as well. So of course,
Mm.
ultimately from Yahweh, giving that inheritance onto Yahweh Shai, the heathens, and Yahweh Shai will also share that portion with us as well to be able to rule over the heathens as well. That's also mentioned within the law of Leviticus 25 and about verse 44, that we will inherit the heathens as bondmen and bondmaids that will serve us. So continuing on where it says in verse 9, actually verse 8, where it says, "And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." So of course we're going to be ruling these lands. It says verse 9, well, Yahweh Shai obviously will be Yahweh will give it to Yahweh Shai. Of course, Yahweh Shai will then distribute that to his elect men. So verse 9, "That thou shalt break them with a rod of iron." Of course, they will receive punishment for their doings. And Psalms 83 is a good chapter on that too. It says, "Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel," man. So that's part of that legacy that we're going to inherit. To obtain the heathen, and of course the punishment, and to afflict our enemies as they have afflicted us, starting from Esau, Edom, which quite fortunately is the first name that's mentioned within Psalms 83 in terms of the list of enemies.
Can't.
Edom,
Mhm.
Ishmael, Moab. So they got a lot to pay for. And I think this would be a good time to also segue to Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Can't, because
And then
these heathens, man, especially the Edomites, they've got a lot to pay for, man. You know,
yeah,
Zephaniah 1 and 15 talks about how, you know what, let me just quickly get it. It's not a long one. Zephaniah 1 and verse 15 tells us how no, Salakia. I always get mixed up. It's either Zephaniah or Zechariah. Zechariah 1
oh,
and 15 tells us, I'm very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but
mm,
a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. So, the Lord was displeased at us, and He gave us, hell. But you
mm,
heathens, man, especially you devils, man, you forwarded that affliction. We still feeling it
yeah,
now. Baruch 3
come,
and 8 tells us we are yet this day in our captivity, man. We are still
exactly.
suffering under you devils, man. Okay, so as the brother Russell are saying, you know, you got to pay for it, man. And you,
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna pay for it by us ruling over you,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna rule over you, as I said in Psalms 2, with the rod of iron, man. It's gonna be a very rigorous rulership, man. You ain't gonna like it, but you're gonna have to
Yeah.
firm it. All right.
Yeah. So look, even on that point as well, where an example where Pharaoh said he made the children of Israel to serve with rigor and hard bondage, man. That's the same way we're going to inflict that rigor, which is severity of the slavery, upon Esau, Edom, and all these other heathens as well. They're going to serve in hard bondage, and they're going to taste the flipping the strength of I was gonna say, well, the metal rod, because literally, if you want to do spiritual power, we could just have a metal rod and then beat them down, man, break
Hey,
their
listen,
bones,
Rastafari, man.
revive them. Go on.
Hey, as much as we've suffered, we don't know rigorous, man. And I say
Yeah.
that because, although, yeah, we've caught a lot of hell, the scriptures describe
Mm.
it as a light affliction. But
True,
brothers be
true,
going
true,
through all
true.
kind of shit. And the scripture said, for
Mm-hmm.
our light affliction is not to be compared with the glory that should be revealed in us. So my question is, with all the shit
Mm-hmm.
we've had to put up with, if this is being described as a light affliction, well, what's a heavy affliction then? When Revelation 18 is talking about recompense unto
Yeah.
them double, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah,
not
we're gonna see. It's
yeah.
gonna be a surprise, man. Even though we can visualize it, it's gonna be a good surprise, and they're
You
gonna
you you
feel it as well.
you devils are gonna be in that same spirit as your forefather Cain in Genesis 4 and
Come on.
13, where he said, my punishment is greater than I can bear, but you're gonna have to bear it, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to. Hey, we wouldn't want to be Edomites right now. I'll tell you that.
Come on.
So this is Jeremiah
That's for
6 and
sure.
16. Thus saith the
Oh
Lord,
yeah.
stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Baba Kushar, can I compound this with another precept that just came to mind?
Yeah. Come on. You were
Just
talking
just
there
to
as well.
just to just to further embed the point, right? You go to Isaiah
Yeah.
30 and 20, it says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, meaning you won't catch hell, yet shall not thy
Mm-hmm.
teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the
Yes.
left. Now, the reason I wanted to compound Jeremiah 6 and 16 with this scripture is because it's talking
Mm.
about seeking the old paths. All right. And we are
Come.
learning about the old paths through our eyes, seeing our teachers, man. And the spirit
Yeah.
is saying to us, this is the way. Walk ye in it.
Mm.
It don't matter if your mum don't want to come into the truth. It don't matter if your dad don't want
Come.
to come. It don't matter if your brother don't want to believe, your friend, your woman, your child, whatever.
Yeah.
It don't listen. The spirit is saying to us, this is the way. Walk ye in it.
Mm.
Don't worry about the outside. This is it. Okay, so
Come.
we're
Come.
seeking
That's it.
those old paths, man. But these same old paths that we're seeking and we're following is the same paths where, as it says here in the latter part of Jeremiah 6 and 16, but they said, we will not walk therein.
Mm.
Jake here, you can no longer sleep with other niggas' wives. No.
Yeah.
I thrive with Jake. You got Jake out there. The only time they touch
Mm.
a woman is if she's dealing with a man. But they don't want to
That's
go for it.
nonsense.
That's wickedness, man.
Go on.
You know,
It is. It is. It is. Yeah.
what you mean I can't eat lobster no more? I can't eat
Mm.
prawns,
Yeah.
and pork and what? Nah. We ain't gonna walk down that
Come on.
path. You know? Oh, I don't call him white man
Yeah.
Jesus no more. Nah, we ain't gonna walk down that path. But this is the way.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get a precept on that. I was gonna
God,
get hold on. I feel strong delusion. Let me see.
that they should believe a lie. That's in
Yes, that one.
that's in Second Thessalonians 2,
Two and
around about
11.
the 10th verse.
Yeah, I got it right now. By the way, this is Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and 11. And for this cause, hold on. Let me see the other verse.
Really, you can
Yeah,
start like 8.
all right. Yeah, come on. So Second Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and
Is that
shall
the prophet?
destroy the and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even
Revelation
him
1 and 7.
whose even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all
No,
deceivableness.
hold on a minute. So, like, yeah, if you just hold
Con,
it there, it said,
yeah.
even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. This is going into, the miracles that these devils have
Mm.
performed, man. Hey, man, uh, let's talk about some of the miracles, man. You got the mobile phone,
Oh yeah,
before
yeah. There's a lot of
you
them
have a messenger,
cars.
you want to shoot messages.
Mm.
The messenger, he has to run. There's that account of that guy who he ran, and then, he made
Oh,
it to
to the
the king he had
bus.
to deliver the message to, and he died.
Oh, it's so
Now
nice.
you want to speak to, you got family members all over the world. You just send them a text, or you just give them a call.
Yeah.
That's an example of
Mm-hmm.
one of the miracles, right? One
Mm.
more that comes to mind. Because you mentioned the cars. That in itself
Con,
is a miracle. The modern day chariot.
yeah.
All right. But
Yeah.
even like the satellite navigation within that,
Mm.
I remember when I was a child, my dad would have to pull up on the side road, get the A to Z out, okay,
Mm.
we're here. I want to
The
get to
classic
this.
map.
I need to go here. And
Yeah.
now you just download Waze. It even tells you where the police are at. You just type in the postcode or the name of the place,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes you there, man. These are some of
Very
the miracles.
efficient.
Khan, you
Mm.
got it though. Keep going.
Yeah, but yeah, as you said, man, these miracles, they could. It depends on the intention behind it. Of course, Esau also uses it for his wicked agendas,
Mm,
but it could also be used on the right hand side as well. We use it as well. We use our phones to, go to camp, navigate to go to places as well. Remember, we're still in the flesh, so sometimes the mind might be slow. The phone's going to be helpful for that, even with
right.
something basic as bringing out precepts too. But
And what's
even as I said, huh?
you got it. Salaki, you got it.
Yeah, even as I said, Esau has that wicked intention because there was a video from a brother, I think one of the elders at the Tampa Bay camp, GMS, in America, where it talks about the four things of which impacts the pineal gland, or suppresses it, suppresses the pineal gland, which is in the mind, and of course, it's seen as the part of the body which really connects to the spiritual realm. You get your spiritual downloads from that, from the mind, as you sleep as well. But what I was going to mention, the four things were, I think aluminium. Second was fluoride. Third was what was the third again? Glyphosate or something. And the fourth was Wi-Fi. That's the one. Wi-Fi was the one. So imagine something that's well known and just used commonly can actually have such a detrimental effect on the mind as
Mm,
well. Suppressing all those spiritual effects. And then you start wondering, why can't I get these why can't you be more in tune in the spirit? Is that you're literally
mm,
fighting frequencies, man. So brothers have their own precautions as well. That's why we pray for mercy as well, and from Yahawashi Mashan. We do what we can as well, within the power that He's allowed us to have. Sometimes during the night you could turn it off and turn it off, turn it on in the morning. That would then help your body as well to heal too. You could fast. But again, as I said, prayer and then fasting are the key tools that we have. But that's why, where it says in Psalms 34:7, the angels of the Lord encampeth around them that fear him. So
mm.
all these different ways that we're unaware, that's how we're getting protected by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So that's why we have to be grateful, man, that He's given us the truth, but also we've got to be grateful that He's protected us from all of this as well. Those of the world who act in ignorance, they won't have this knowledge. Hence Hosea
Mm.
4 and 6, when people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So
Khan.
right, so let's go back on track. Unless
Real quick,
you got
just a
another
very,
point to
very, yeah,
say.
just a very quick one as well. What's the ultimate
Go
miracle that Esau is going to use to deceive the world, man?
Oh
The
yeah,
MOT.
that one, the MOTB. Yeah,
Can't forget that. But you got it.
yeah. But yeah, even the MOTB, that's gonna be a major miracle that people are
Yeah.
gonna believe in. Just like the way they line up for Apple phones, the latest. I don't even know if they still do that, but I know a few years back people used to line up and flipping have tents the day before the latest iPhone was going to be released. The same way they're going to be lining up for this MOTV to come,
The
to
same way
get
they
the
lined up
info
for
and
the hokey pokey, man.
that as well, because Esau leveraged the fear, to get to people. He's gonna probably start off with something that basic convenience. He's gonna start off with that, and eventually it's gonna be fear out of necessity. But people don't.
Mm.
People outside of the truth will think it's a necessity, but it's not. As the scripture says, man shall not live by bread alone, but by the word of Yahawashi. And that's when our faith is going to be tested and Yaratazah, and we stay strong throughout that whole period of time until the point of salvation. So yeah,
That's right.
you got any other precepts, or you want to get back on track?
Uh, no, I thought you was gonna read down to 11 or 12, because obviously I kind of fell off.
Salaki, yeah, I was talking a
So
lot
you
there.
at verse 10 now.
Go on. All right, so Second Thessalonians 10:2 and verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. We receive the love of the truth. That's why we have the protection from the Allahim, because that's ordained by Yahweh Shem Yahshua for us to have as we serve Him. So those are one of the perks that we profit from as well in this lifetime right now. Now it says in verse 12, actually verse 11, what am I saying? Actually, verse 10, because they have received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Verse
Wow.
11, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. All these philosophies, of course, the things that Esau puts out there, the so-called science that has infiltrated the minds of people to believe, the news stations, all of this is what helps Yahweh Shem Yahshua is using Esau to keep that delusion on the minds of the people, but especially
Mm.
Jake. Jake is the one who's suffering the most from this. Even speaking of suffering, the brother at the Tampa Bay, when I watched his video, he was mentioned that even the chemtrails as well, it targets people with more melanated eyes and darker hair. And of course, we know Jake is the one who has darker eyes typically, and of course,
Mm.
darker hair as well. So everything is really targeted in order to diminish us. And
That's
that's why
right.
Michael 2:10 said, "It shall destroy you with a sword destruction."
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
this
it's a
chemtrail stuff
fight,
is
man.
real, man.
Mm.
I remember back in the day, so like I didn't mean to cut you off if it was continuing
No,
on.
it's fine. So, yeah.
I remember back in the day when you know, uh excuse me, growing up, my dad would have his car and say it was a bit dirty and that you wouldn't mind a rainy day. The rain comes
Mm.
down, you look at your cars looking clean, man. Hey man, let's
Calm,
look.
calm, calm.
It rained last week, Friday, where I'm at. And
Mm.
when I woke up in the morning, because it rained through the night, I woke up in the morning, I looked at my car, it was brown everywhere, man. What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. The
And then you wonder
chemicals.
why, like the other week I had laryngitis, I lost my voice, and
Mm.
around the same
Mm-hmm.
time, people were having all kind of sicknesses and stuff. And you wonder where
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this stems from, man. But people
Mm-hmm,
still want to
mm-hmm,
put
mm-hmm.
trust in this devil. You still got
Calm, calm,
Jake's out
calm.
there, they still want to call on white man Jesus. The white man ain't done
Mm-hmm.
nothing
Mm-hmm.
for you, man. All he's done
Yeah,
is
yeah,
deceive
yeah.
you and
Mm.
taken you away from your power and made you more subservient, man. He ain't done shit for
Calm,
you.
calm, calm.
But
Yeah.
that's why, as Russ as I was reading here, that they all might be
Mm.
damned. Well, actually, I don't
Yeah.
think you read 12 yet, but you said you talking about how the
Yeah.
Most High shall send them a strong delusion, man. A
Calm,
lot of
calm,
Israel
calm.
is walking around deluded.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, verse 12, just to finish it off, that
Mm.
they might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, man. So, the Most High is going to give them to their delusions, and they're going to actually like their delusions, man. As the scripture
Yep.
said, tell us sweet things in our ears, man. That's what Jake is on right now. Which you can't really,
Mm,
I say you can't blame them, but at the same time, after all the friction and suffering, they want to get comforted. But that comfort is not the right way to get that comfort. Before
right.
we're going to get our final comfort, that's going to be in the kingdom of Yahawashi, where
Mm,
Jake won't be finally able to chill, man. So that's really the point there in Second Thessalonians, of
come.
the wickedness of our people. I think just to get back on track, have you read the Sirach chapter 39?
I got
That's
that here.
still
This is
there.
Mark
Oh,
39 and 1. It
mm-hmm.
says that. Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek
Mm,
out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. Okay,
God.
and that's what the elect are doing. There's the
Mm-hmm.
seeking the old paths, seeking the wisdom of old. They're occupied in the
Yeah,
prophecies.
yeah.
Because as the saying goes, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you came from. Jake don't even know where they came from. Jake believes our history just goes back as far as the slave ships, and that's it.
Mm,
There's nothing more to Israel. It's just, hey, you was a nobody, white man
yeah.
enslaved you, and now you're somebody. No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Verse 2
God.
goes on to say, he will keep the sayings of renowned men. We got many examples of renowned men. All the
Yeah.
prophets in the Bible, man. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He's gonna be in them scriptures, man. All right, he will seek out
God.
the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables, because we shed light
Mm,
on these dark parables, man. Through the spirit and
God.
power of Yahawashi, we bring the understanding out on these said dark parables, man. And we make it, as the scriptures say, we make the truth plain upon tables, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got a quick precept to support that as well,
Bring it out.
which is the point of Proverbs as well. This is Proverbs 1 and verse. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'll start from verse 5, but the point is in verse 6. So, Proverbs 1 and 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. It says in verse 6, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. So just like the example where Yahushua said, well, not where Yahushua, but when the disciples asked Yahushua, why are you speaking to them, for the people of Israel, in
Beautiful.
parables? Then Yahushua then told them, it's because it's for you to understand the the parables, which the parables really, you can liken them onto dark sayings, which again, aka are like speaking in code, essentially, for only those who have the understanding to be able to break down the scriptures, really. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear, essentially. So that's just a point to support, Sirach 39 and 1 that you read before. Let's see. I think there was another priest I was going to get onto, I'm going to read John 19 and 11 because that's the
Calm.
one where Porsche, is it Pontius Pilate or Pontius Pilate? I don't know if there's a correct way of saying it.
I
I,
believe
I
it's
always heard it.
silent.
Pontius Pilate.
Calm.
All right, let's see.
You said what? John 19 and 11.
Hold on. Wait, let me check again. Uh, yeah, can't. John 19 and 11. All right, so this is John 19 and 11. It says here, Yahushua answered, thou couldst have no power. Actually, no, let me read up a bit. Let me see. Verse 17 speaks to them. Yeah, actually from verse 10. John 19 and 10. Then saith Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? So of course, he had that confidence in the strength that he's been given, because of course he was given it, but he wasn't aware that all power is given of Yahweh ultimately.
Mm.
So verse 11, Yahushua answered, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. So the point is, as Yahawashi said, man, thou couldst have no power at all against me. So the same way he had to also suffer and go through all that pain and humiliation before, he would then inherit his legacy that Yahweh promised him, and to be able to judge the nations and have rulership over the
Mm,
heathen. This is just one portion of it. Also the many mansions as well. That's really for the elect of Yahushua. It's the same way we also go through our humiliation and our suffering and affliction prior to then gaining our legacy, which will then be given from
mm,
Yahushua as well. So we're learning from those old past, man. Yahushua being the main example of whom his long lasting actions has had an impact upon us in this modern day regeneration. Because as the scriptures say, the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So of course, with each regeneration up to the final one, the arrows are this one. We're gonna have to go through, that suffering and humiliation and learn from the old past, then apply it when need be for the major prophecies when we do live it out. Which this is that generation that won't pass until that MOTBs then happen. Again, the other
that's
major
right.
prophecies as well, like World War Three.
Come
Go on.
on. So this is Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so be
Mm-hmm.
that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the
Mm-hmm.
sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So all the suffering that we go through, the sacrifices and the hell that we catch, as drastic as it may seem, it
Yeah.
really doesn't even compare to the glory that's going to be revealed in us, man. And I was
Mm-hmm.
going into, I did a sit down lesson yesterday, and I was talking about how we all have to pay for our education. It's just like you go to uni,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
you got to pay for that course to get your degree. I mean,
True.
years ago
True.
when I checked, it was like £9,000. Do you know what the price is now, Ratazar?
9,280 something.
Okay,
It
so
went up a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything's going up, but that's the price you
Go
have to
on. Go
pay
on.
for
Go
that.
on.
But it's like
Mm-hmm.
we also have to pay a price, and the price that we pay
Yeah.
is that we have to go through the sufferings, catch hell,
Mm.
tribulation, lose this, lose that. That's the price we have to pay for
Mm.
this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And it's telling you here that all this suffering that we're dealing with now is not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Because once we're in the kingdom, man, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like we woke up from a bad dream,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
everything is gonna be. We're gonna have the attitude of, you mean, Lord, I only have to go through that to inherit all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
we have to, myself included, man, we have to um change our perspective on suffering, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I think about as well, some of the greatest wisdom I've obtained has been through the
Mm.
suffering that I've gone through, man.
Go on. Go on. Go on.
So that's the
Yeah.
attitude that we have to have towards us catching hell. Is like there is there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I back that up
Yeah.
with a script real quick. This is
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 9 verse 11, man. One of my new favorites. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you
Mm.
an expected end. And what is our expected end? That we're gonna be sitting on
Go on.
those thrones, that we're gonna have
Yep.
heathen as our
Yes.
inheritance, that we're gonna be in the
Mm-hmm.
good graces of our Lord and Savior, uh Yahawashi. Well,
Go on.
Yahawashi.
Go on.
These are
Yep.
just some of the blessings that we're going to obtain for presenting our bodies as a living
Mm.
sacrifice, man.
Calm. So yeah, even on that point as well, Yarat is we're gonna get a few precepts before we round off. But on that point as well, on suffering, man, being able to suffer and partake in the sufferings of Yahushua as well. In Matthew 10 and verse 35, James and John were trying to sit on the right hand side of Yahushua, man. Yeah, that's what they were
Mm.
trying to do. So this is Matthew 10 and 35. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, come unto him, saying, Master, we would that thou shouldest do for us whatsoever we shall desire. And he said unto them,
So, like,
What
where you
would
reading from?
ye? Matthew 10 and 35, right now, verse 36.
No, I don't think so, bro.
Matthew 10. Oh, wait, hold on. Not Matthew, so look, okay, Mark 10.
So,
Sometimes brothers' eyes can be tired.
it's all right, man. It's all right.
These things be happening. So Mark should
I
be
feel
Mark
like it's
10 and
started.
Mark 10 and verse 35. It says it, and James and John, the sons of Zebedee, come unto him, saying, Master, we would that thou shouldest do for us whatsoever we shall desire. And he said unto them, What would ye that I should do for you? They said unto him, grant unto us, that we may sit one on thy right hand and the other on thy left hand in thy glory. So of course they desire to have that glory. They want to have that legacy as well. Now it says, But Yahushua said unto them, Ye know not what ye ask. So you don't know what you're asking for. That's what Yahushua was telling them. Can ye drink of the cup that I drink of, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? So
Mm,
really what Yahushua was telling was that, can you really go through the pain that I've gone through? Can you
right.
suffer the way I've suffered? The same way the real elect men of Yahawashi and Yahushua, they're gonna every bro is gonna have their own custom affliction to go through
Mm-hmm.
in order to obtain that again, which is the focus of this video, that legacy, that reward, in the kingdom of Yahushua. So that's
I'm
just a little
remembering as
example
well
there. Mm,
that the sufferings that we go through is to build us up, man. The hell that we
yeah,
catch is
cool.
tailor made for us. But with that being said,
Hmm.
don't think that there ain't another sincere brother around the world that's not going through
Yeah,
the same situation, if not worse than you, man. So
cool.
again, it's just about changing our perspective on suffering, man. And
Yeah,
uh, I was speaking to the beloved captain of our camp sometime this week, about particular things, and he was saying, look,
mm,
man, you have to remember this is the last time, the last go around Satan has to fuck with us, man. Because
yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
after this time, man, remember we're gonna have power over Satan. We're the ones that's
I
gonna
got a
be
precept on that.
sending
Go
out
on.
demons to mess with these heathens, man. So it's
That's
like
it. Yeah.
let what you call it? Let Satan have his last hurrah, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Go on.
let him just have his last hurrah. And something
The
even my mother
final
said to
glory.
me, man. My
Yeah,
mom said to me, like, look, everything has its cycle, man. You just have to let things just run its course, you know.
yeah.
But you said you had a
That's the
precept.
case. Yeah, Khan. Yeah, on the point of we're gonna be able to command Satan as well, command demons, to hop on all of these heathen vessels.
We got Luke
This
10.
is First Corinthians 6. Huh?
All right. So like I was thinking
What
that's
you-
thinking about one in Luke chapter 10.
that could be. Wait, let me read this first. Let me read this first. This
Yeah.
is go on. First Corinthians 6 and 3. Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? Now, when you go into the word judge as well, the root word should be krino, which by the fourth definition in the outline of biblical usage, krino also means to decree, to determine, which means when we then have a command for these angels, they're also going to they're going to listen, man. Because they
Mm,
are ministering spirits. As it says, I think it's the fourth definition. It says to determine, resolve, and to decree. So
mm,
when we make a command, they will then listen to us. And Yaratazar, of course, in the kingdom, that's just going to be a normal thing. Just tell an angel or tell a certain demon, which is really on the left hand side. That's just a demon on the an angel on the left hand side. Really, that's what they are. So they're gonna play out their works, the decrees that were made unto them, then they're gonna perform it. So
Sure.
it says once again, 1 Corinthians 6:3, know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? Because remember, we're still going to judge the 12 tribes of Israel as well as these heathens too. And those are things that pertain to this life as well.
Calm.
God.
So I'll bring like two more
Uh,
scriptures that we can close.
yeah.
This is Psalms 82:6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
God.
But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes because of sin. Remember, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny thing is, I always remember Romans 6:23, but if I told you how I
Mm.
remember Romans 6:23, it's the funniest thing ever, man. I just remember I was
Yeah.
walking by this church. By the way, it says the wages, Romans 6:23 tells us the wages of sin is death. I was walking by this church
God.
and it had Romans 6:23 there, and I looked at it and I read it. And ever since then, that
Mm.
precept just stuck with me, man. You know, so you
It's
can learn from
just
the Christians, though.
the Most High has his methods, man. He's got his methods that certain scriptures just stick with you for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
God.
Depends on the
So
experience. God.
that's right. So Psalms 82:8, arise, O power, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations, man. And once we inherit all the nations, you know, by then we're gonna, excuse me, we're gonna be in our godlike status, man. And
God.
when you go to Psalms 82:6, and you go to the word gods, it will be Allahayim, which, as you said in
Mm-hmm.
the Assyrian Hebrew, the Assyrian script,
Yeah.
you know, the or what's it, the Yiddish, you know, they say Elohim.
Yeah.
But
God.
according to the Paleo Hebrew, all right,
Mm.
the real, you know, original text, it's Allahayim, which is
Yeah.
plural.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, the words here is rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. All right, so we're gonna be the rulers and
Yeah.
the judges in the kingdom, man, and we're gonna as it says in Psalms 149, to execute judgment upon the heathen. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what's getting ready to take place in our kingdom, man. But we have to earn that position, which of course the elect are predestined, but none of us can
Mm.
comfortably walk around and say we're definitely of the elect. So we
No.
fight for that ground, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've got
God.
one more precept, unless there's a point you want to bring
Yeah.
out just before I get that.
No, you go. Point proven. That was it.
Isaiah 64 and verse 4, it says, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen, O power, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. And we're waiting on the Lord, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't even know the magnitude of what we're about to receive, man, for presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, for waiting on the Lord,
Yeah.
you know, suffering in the flesh. We don't even know
Mm-hmm.
the fullness of the reward, man. But hey, as the scriptures say, you know, we walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
just gonna hang in there, Lord willing, man, until the end, and you know, we're gonna come out on the other side, man. You know,
Yeah, man.
that's
Yeah,
the
that's the
legacy.
faith.
So
Mm.
like just one more thing, that's the legacy of Yahawashi and the elect, man. You got it, bro.
Cool. Yeah, as we always mention, from video to video, all the suffering isn't in vain. The suffering is profitable, not compared to the suffering that, people of the world, Israelites of the world go through in order to get their fame and their glory on this. But for us, we have eternity to look forward for, new bodies to
Mm,
look forward for, planets to look forward for. And those are just some of the things that are mentioned within the scriptures, man, that I know of. Imagine how much more the things that were not even given to us to even think about. You know, that's going to be a very, 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 very big surprise in the kingdom of Yahawashi. So yeah, that's just a few words that I had there. So yeah, I think we're gonna close it out.
Can't, man. So yeah, man. We hope you brothers and maybe you few of my sisters were
Mm-hmm.
edified by this video, man. In closing, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Hello,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha
Shai.
Kodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Salutations unto the
Mm-hmm.
104,000 doing the work of the Lord in all truth, honor, and sincerity. And shalom to the one
God,
third men and children who believe in this word being taught unto them, man. Until next time, Arkin, man. And Aqua, shalom.
Shalom, Shalom.